Okay, hello and welcome to Unit 2, working 9 to 5. So let's go ahead and take a look at what we're going to do here. So working 9 to 5, that's a traditional work week. So in the US and in most of Europe, they work Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 for a 40-hour work week. Here in Mexico, we call that Semana Inglesa. Because here we actually have to work Saturdays half a day. That's our normal work week. A six day, 46-hour work week, something like that, 45. Anything over that is overtime. In the United States, anything after 40 hours is overtime. Dolly Parton, a fantastic musician and an institution all on her own, made a movie in the 80s called 9 to 5, criticizing the grind of office work and how repetitive and it kind of like it can become a prison almost. So I went ahead and linked the music video to the song for the movie, and you guys can look up the lyric video as well, or just the lyrics up on Google if you guys want to turn it into a 1 hour. But I went ahead and shared it, just giving you guys some options for 1 hours and stuff like that. Now remember, these kind of things are disappearing, working 9 to 5. Currently we're all working from home, very different hours. I don't work 9 to 5. So think about that. Do your parents work 9 to 5? Do you want to work 9 to 5? We're all working from home, working somewhere other than an office is becoming more and more popular. There's a trend called digital nomads, of people that they just travel with their laptop and they live wherever they want. They live in South America, they travel Europe with the money that they earn from their jobs, because they can do it as long as they have a Wi-Fi connection, they can work. So I also went ahead and linked a little documentary. It's like a 25-minute video of what a digital nomad is. If you guys want to watch it and do a 1 hour on that, or just watch it out of curiosity as well with the song. Because in the snapshot, let's go ahead and take a look at that really quick. It says, what do you want from your career? Do you want security? Do you want adventure? Or do you want money? Sometimes you can have all three. Not always. Sometimes you have to do a little sacrifice, but sometimes you can have all three. Digital nomads have all three. Their job makes enough money for them to live anywhere. That gives them adventure, and they make enough money where they have that financial security. So sometimes you can have all three, but not always. So in security, it says, if you want to have stability, choose a job that you can keep for your whole life. You could be a federal judge, a public school teacher, or a university professor. So, hey, there we go. That's me right there. Security, right? Adventure. Perhaps you can't picture yourself doing the same thing at the same place for years and years. In that case, be something that will allow you to explore other places and other cultures, like an environmentalist or a tour guide. Or money. Do you want to have a high-paying job? You may want to look into being a financial analyst, a doctor, or a stockbroker. So depending on what you guys want from your career, this is kind of what you're aiming at. Clearly, I didn't go for money. There's a reason they call us pobresores. I went for security. I've had my fair share of adventure. I've done my jobs that I considered adventurous, not necessarily travel, but just odd jobs, so to speak. So I'm done with that. Go ahead and rank the factors from 1 as most important to 3 least important. Compare with a partner. So we'll compare on Monday in class. So don't worry about that. Don't worry about the partner thing. We'll go ahead and compare those in class. Which factors did you consider when you chose your present job if you're working, or a future career, and why? So remember, in Unit 1 on that snapshot, we talked about what people look for in partners: education, same education, similar beliefs, similar background, steady job. But sometimes a steady job is not enough. Maybe we're looking for the money factor. Okay. At this stage in my life, I rank security first, money second, and adventure last. But that's me at where I am in my life. In your 20s, that's when you have the opportunity to explore. My girlfriend, for example, she wants to do her master's in Canada or the United States. She thought about doing it in France, right? So she still wants to travel a lot. She still wants to have a lot of adventure. Not me. I'm done with that. So it creates interesting conversations between us, but I'm very supportive. I actually want her to go ahead and live out her dreams while she still can, right? Before it's too late. And she has to start thinking about the security more than the adventure, right? So if you're young enough and you have the opportunity, definitely do it. But after a while, you need to start thinking about that retirement. We're definitely going to touch back on that, on the retirement stuff, in further videos and classes. But for now, like I said, there's a documentary on digital nomads, and there's the song 9 to 5 about what it's like to work an office job. Let's go ahead and move on to perspectives. So here we go. Perspectives. Listen to students discuss career choices. Do you agree or disagree? So we actually have an audio. I'm going to go ahead and play it. That way it's less that I have to read. Let me go ahead and bring it up. Okay. Let's go ahead and play the audio on career choices. Let me make sure that all of that is visible.
Unit 2, Working 9 to 5. Page 8, Exercise 2. Perspectives. Career Choices. Part A. Listen to students discuss career choices. Do you agree or disagree? Check the speaker you agree with more.
I'd like to work in the video game industry. Playing games all day would be lots of fun.
I disagree. Playing the same game every day for months would be boring.
Being a flight attendant sounds very exciting. Traveling all the time would be really interesting.
But flight attendants get tired of traveling. They spend most of their time in airports.
Designing clothes is not a man's job. Women are much more fascinated by fashion.
That's not true. Many great fashion designers are men. Just look at Michael Kors.
I'd enjoy working with animals. I think working as a veterinarian could be rewarding.
I'm not so sure. Animals can be very unpredictable. Getting a dog bite would be scary.
Okay, so that was their opinion on these different jobs. So go ahead and just say, who do you agree with more? All of these are valid opinions. I mean, people that work in the video game industry, they do it because they love it, even if it has horrendous working conditions. Right now, there's a big controversy. Gamers are trying to, or gaming employees are trying to unionize because it's not secure work. If your game doesn't sell, that studio can close and you're out of a job and you have to go find it elsewhere. So it's very hit or miss with the video game industry. There's no security in it. You can consider it an adventure. But they're talking about like playing video games all day. So video game testers. And the guy says, I disagree. Playing the same game every day for months would be boring. And I don't know about you guys, but sometimes that happens to me. Like there's only so much video games that you can play before you're like, I'm done, right? Being a flight attendant sounds very exciting, but then the girl is right where They spend most of the time in airports. My stepsister worked for a cruise company, cruise ships, right? Sailing the ocean, visiting, like most of her tours were in Europe. So she went to Norway, to Sweden. She spent time in Israel, like all over Europe, all over the world, the Caribbean, obviously. And she would talk about how boring it got being months out at sea, and how sometimes, depending on the customs agents of certain countries, whether it was worth it to get off the boat at all to get to know the cities. It's like you have 3 hours. Oh, but there's like an hour line just to get off the boat and like enter the country. No, I'll just stay in my cabin. So it really depends on what you're looking for. But she liked it, and the money was good. I like the one that says designing clothes is not a man's job, and she says that's not true. Many great fashion designers. This one makes me laugh. Most famous designers are men. Ralph Lauren, Versace. When Versace started, before he got murdered and Donatella took over, Versace was started by a man. Ralph Lauren, like I said, Calvin Klein. I mean, you name it, it's a guy. It's actually very hard to name a woman designer. Okay, so think about that. You know, outside of Vera Wang, everybody knows Vera Wang. Mention one more female designer. I actually do know because students have told me in the past, but I'll leave this one up to you. You can even make it into a 1 hour. And then the last one, I enjoy working with animals. It's like, I'm not sure. Animals can be very unpredictable. It's not just that. A friend of mine, she loves animals, and she wanted to work as a veterinarian. She started as a vet tech, a veterinarian technician, which is just an assistant to the veterinarian. She was heartbroken with how many homeless cats she had to put down. She didn't last a month. She's like, I couldn't handle it. Just, killing so many animals because people wouldn't adopt them, because they were sick, because they were run over by a car or whatever it was. She's like, I couldn't handle it. So it can be very, very difficult to just check who you agree with the most, and we will go over this in class. It'll make for a very interesting discussion, that's for sure. So as I told you guys in the Unit 1 video, perspectives usually sets us up for our grammar focus, which in this case is gerund phrases. Gerund phrases as subject, gerund phrases as object. Gerund phrases as subject is very straightforward. You're starting with your gerund phrase. The verb in present continuous, you could call it. Playing, being, designing, working. So playing games all day, being a flight attendant, designing clothes, working as a veterinarian. Would be, sounds exciting, is not a man's job, could be. So as we have a would and could here, this is the first time we're looking at these modals. We're going to be looking at them a lot. Gerund phrases as objects, we're starting with a subject pronoun. She would be good at testing games. He would love being a flight attendant. So the she'd and the he'd in this case are a contraction for she would or he would. He wouldn't like being a fashion designer. So when it's a negation, we can't have the contraction he'd followed by not. It has to be with the modal verb. I wouldn't, he wouldn't, we wouldn't like being a fashion designer. Or she'd enjoy working with animals. So that's your key to know when it's subject and when it's object. Subject, it's at the beginning. You're actually starting with your phrase. And it's the activity. Playing games all day, being a flight attendant, designing clothes, working as a veterinarian. Seems like fun, would be exciting, could be rewarding. And here we're actually starting with a subject. We're actually saying who, not what activity would be fun, but who would enjoy that activity. She would enjoy it. He would enjoy it. I would enjoy it. So we'll definitely take a deeper dive into this on Monday if you guys have any doubts. But again, fairly easy. And then over here, you get to build your own, so to speak. You have column A, B, and C. So you can go straight across. Working from home seems awful, which is basically what we're all doing right now. I'll be very honest. I thought working from home would be awful, but I'm actually enjoying it a lot. There's enough time in between classes where I can do chores. I can wash dishes. I can take my dogs out for walks. I can put laundry in the washing machine. So my day is full, but it's not repetitive. I get to do stuff around the house. Not to mention my girlfriend and I can spend a lot of time together when we're not in classes. So that's always really good. So you can do your own. There's no wrong answer because obviously it's your own opinion. For example, doing volunteer work doesn't sound fascinating. I'm volunteer work, it's like if I'm gonna do it, pay me. I know I may sound like a jerk, but that's why I went into social work. I wanted to get paid for helping people. That's why I majored in sociology and I worked in social work in the United States because I wanted to get paid for that. I didn't want to do it on my own time, right? So go ahead and work through these and then invent two of your own. So invent your own gerund phrases. We have working, doing, having, working, being, making, taking, retiring. So you can use working on something else. Working on a movie set, working from home, working at a law firm, working from the beach, doing volunteer work, doing homework all day at home, because that's a reality right now because of the pandemic. So create two of your own, and then we'll compare on Monday. This one we'll also be doing on Monday. Give reasons as to why. Right. So, for example, I already told you why I think doing volunteer work doesn't sound fascinating, because it's like I'd rather be paid for it. I'm not into volunteering. I know I'm a jerk. So give your opinions, and so I'll ask you guys. So when I'll say, hey, who's got number one, you say it, and I'll say why, and you give me your opinion. And then I'll say who has something different, why, and we'll go down. So we're going to spend some time on this one. That's why I'm stopping the video at this exercise. I don't want it to go too long, and because on Monday we're really going to work through it and maybe get to a new section depending on how we're doing on time. And then here, as group work, complete the sentences with gerund phrases. Then take turns reading your sentences. Share the 3 most interesting sentences. So again, we're going to do it as a class. Do this one now. So on Monday in class, when I ask, hey, what would you get tired of? you can give me your phrase. So we're going to do it individually as homework, and then we're going to share it as a group on Monday. That way, so please come prepared with 6 of these. I'd get tired of, here's one. I'd get tired of eating la lechera every day. I'd be interested in working in a TV show. I'd be interested in working on a TV show. I'd be very excited about meeting my favorite athlete. I'd enjoy eating chocolates every day. I think I'd be good at acting. I'm kind of cheating there, but you know, if you just put the phrase in gerund, the verb, you're completing the assignment. I think I'd be good at acting. Maybe some of you would say I'd be good at drawing cartoons, whether a comic strip or a comic book. I wouldn't be very good at being a waiter. I have very, very bad balance and equilibrium. So I'm afraid of like dropping the tray and breaking all the dishes. So no, I wouldn't be good at being a waiter. God, no. So I want you guys to work through something similar, come with your phrases prepared, and then we move on. If I moved in a little too fast, remember you can always pause the video and go back. Don't forget to look at the links in the description for the documentary and the song if you guys get inspired and decide to do a wall hour of that, or from perspectives. Like if you disagreed very strongly with one of those or agreed very strongly with one of those and you want to talk more about it, definitely that can be a wall hour. So I'll see you guys on Monday, and I'll try and have another video up for you guys this weekend for Tuesday's class. That way we can get ahead a little bit. Okay? So thank you for watching this, and I'll see you guys in class.